A story about a day of conversations, highlighting English conversation starters in different situations. Enjoy the story.
Last Saturday was a busy but fun day, filled with conversations in different places. It all started in the morning when I went to the coffee shop. The man in front of me in line was wearing a cool t-shirt with a band logo I recognized. I smiled and said, "Hey, I love your t-shirt. Are you a fan of that band too?" He turned around and said, "Yeah, I've been listening to them for years." We ended up talking about music for a few minutes while waiting for our coffee. He even recommended a few songs I hadn't heard before. It was a great way to start the day. Next, I went to the park to relax. I saw a woman sitting on a bench reading a book I had just finished. I walked over and said, "Excuse me, I couldn't help but notice your book. How are you finding it so far?" She looked up and smiled. "It's really good, but I'm only halfway through, no spoilers." We laughed and talked about our favorite authors for a while. She even suggested a few books I might like. Before leaving, I said, "It was great talking to you. Maybe I'll see you around the park again." She nodded and said, "Definitely. Have a great day." In the afternoon, I went to a friend's party. I didn't know many people there, so I walked up to a group and said, "Hi, I'm Alex. How do you all know?" They introduced themselves and explained they were co-workers. We ended up chatting about work, hobbies, and even weekend plans. One of them mentioned they loved hiking, so I said, "Oh, I've been looking for new hiking trails. Do you have any recommendations?" They suggested a few places, and we exchanged numbers to plan a hike together. It was a great icebreaker. Later, I went to the grocery store. While picking out apples, I noticed someone struggling to decide between two types. I said, "Hey, I've tried both. The red ones are sweeter, but the green ones are great for baking. What are you planning to make?" She laughed and said, "I'm making a pie, so I guess I'll go with the green ones." We talked about baking tips for a few minutes. Before leaving, I said, "Good luck with your pie. I hope it turns out amazing." She smiled and said, "Thanks. I'll need all the luck I can get." In the evening, I went to a yoga class. After the session, I turned to the person next to me and said, "That was such a great class. Do you come here often?" He said, "Yes, I've been coming for a few months. It's really helped me relax." We talked about our favorite yoga poses and even exchanged numbers to attend future classes together. Before leaving, I said, "It was nice meeting you. Looking forward to seeing you in the next class." He replied, "Same here. Have a great evening." Finally, I ended the day at a bus stop. It started raining, and I noticed someone without an umbrella. I said, "Looks like we're both stuck in the rain. Do you think the bus will come soon?" He laughed and said, "I hope so. I'm already soaked." We talked about the weather and our plans for the weekend until the bus arrived. As we got on the bus, I said, "Well, at least we're out of the rain now. Have a great weekend." He smiled and said, "You too. Stay dry."